Welcome everybody back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing another Transformers review video. Today's figure is Transformers Age of the Primes G2 Universe Grimlock with Autobot Wheelie. So we're going to get into everything. We're going to be talking about him, Wheelie a little bit, and just all the stuff. So let's get into the box. So this is the new style box here. I got this from GameStop, as you might be able to tell. Unfortunately, you can't see Grimlock's face because of that, so yeah. But here's his Dinobot mode Dino mode with Wheelie on top. Here's Steps to Transform 22, and then this is Age of the Primes. Yeah, I already said that, so yeah. And then here's another look at his robot mode, this time with his face actually visible. We got that same title again. Going around back, we just have more images of him, specifically the toy. And yeah, and then going around again, this is the little mural or something of the sort, like the line of statues. So as we get more figures from Age of the Primes, we'll be getting more. This says till all are one, and this is a leader class figure. All right, so let's get into the figure. All right, so if I can, I'm gonna repose him real quick and get Wheelie off. So, essentially, I think this figure's pretty nice. He is a direct recolor of the G1 Studio Series, the movie Grimlock. So if you already have that figure, it's really dependent on you whether he's worth it or not. But I personally wouldn't think he is, because this is a recolor that's, in my opinion, worse. But yeah. So he does have a lot of blue around him. This is the G2 Universe version, after all. Going around back, you can see that he has his Rex head, or T-Rex head back there, as well as his arms, which I didn't pose correctly. There we go. That's a bit better. And then, yeah, he also has the T-Rex toes here, along with it on his arm. And then he has the gun. I'll show that off in a second. Then he has his legs. Pretty nice. He has some stripe detailing on the lower, like, not shin. Is it shin? I think it's shin. And like I said, he has a gun. This has two barrels, and yeah, it's pretty nice looking. Although he kind of looks goofy holding it like this. But if you want, you can bend his arms. But I'll go more into that in articulation. Yeah, pretty nice figure overall. He is a pretty sizable figure, although some features of him could have been better, but I personally think for the most part he's a pretty good figure overall. Probably my most liked Age of the Primes figure so far, so that's a good sign. Although he is a recolor of a Studio Series figure, so that sounds about right. Yeah, pretty nice figure. I'm going to go into Wheelie real quick. So, Wheelie is relatively posable. He has a ball jointed head. I'm just going to kind of speed run through his features, because I don't want to sit here for 20 years with a figure that doesn't really do much. So he has a head on a ball joint, so he can go 360 and he can look up and he can look down a little bit. And then he has arms that go around like this. You could also have it go like that, and then this arm could just go out and in like that. And then you could actually take this out if you want. It's relatively loose, but I prefer to keep it in. And then the legs are unfortunately permanently bent, but you can go like that, and you can go out like that. So yeah. So that's done, because I don't want to talk about a figure that barely anyone cares about. People care about Grimlock here. So now we are going to go into Grimlock's articulation. Alright. So, starting off, head is on a ball joint. That means you can spin 360 degrees. You look up, you can look down. You can look down a little bit more if you have the, because his head kind of does go into the body, but you can do that if you want. So yeah, you could see he's looking down a little bit. His arms are on not ratchet joints. I think they are on ratchet. It's hard to tell whether it's a ratchet joint or not. If you want to move these out of the way, you can just move those back there. But you can spin pretty much all the way around on both sides. And you can also go up like that, and then like that. Okay, let me actually get that. He does have a bicep swivel, as well as a elbow bend. Goes pretty far. And then he has a hand that moves, so you can see it goes 360 degrees. So that's pretty nice. As for our legs here, Well, as for our torso here, he can spin his around the hips 360 degrees. He can go up like that with his leg, and he can go up like that, and then back. Not as far because of his head, kind of. But if you do want to move that, you can have it go up farther. But I prefer to keep the head a little bit on the, to keep it in a certain position. So, I mean, yeah. And then he does have a pretty good knee bend. So, about, I think it's a little less than 90 degrees. Also, there's the Autobot logo right there, just so you know. Not exactly too used to this figure. And he does have a, forgot ankle pivot. There we go. He has that, you can see that there's a little molding here that kind of makes it look a little bit better. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the figure's articulation. Now, I'm going to go into his transformation, talk about his transformation, and then we'll be finished with the video. So, to start, okay, if I can talk, to start off, we go to his hands, we put them in. This is actually very similar to Swoop's transformation, at least a specific aspect. Put those in, and then next, you're going to want to flare the back of his legs out, so I'll show you a little bit better perspective. So yeah, and then you bring this out and down, just kind of leave that hanging for now. You bring the head down in there like that, and then you bring this and you jimmy it out. You could see it's on this little thingy here. Do the same with the other side, so just kind of bring it out like that. And then what you're going to want to do, make sure everything's out of the way. You're going to want to get the head out next, so kind of make it go like that, and you're going to get these out of the way for now. Then you're going to want to grab these and then bring them out like that. So just kind of make sure they're going all the way around. Flip this in so that way it's not blocking anything. And then bring this in. So I'll show you what it looks like again. So you put this in, you bring this out like that. And then you do that. And then you bring it in. And then you connect everything together. There's multiple attachment points, so it should be relatively sturdy. And then, last but certainly not last yet, we have to put this in. So there is a little thing here, and then there's a little hole here, and then it kind of goes in on its own pretty much. And just kind of move the legs for now. And then, last thing we do, we just make sure the head's posed a little bit better. And then you go put everything in, and you connect it together. A relatively basic transformation. I wouldn't say it's too hard. So yeah, that is it for Grimlock. He is very blue. So for this version of Grimlock's articulation, actually, let's look at him first a little bit before we go crazy. But he does have the tail there. He has like a really fat tail too. Yeah, he has a spot. You can put Wheelie on his neck. That's probably the best spot you're gonna find for putting him on there. Also, he does have a spot on his leg that used to be a shoulder. So yeah. Okay, so that's what that looks like if you want to have it like that. And then, yeah. So, articulation-wise, his mouth moves pretty far. He has a neck that can spin 360 degrees. He has some arms that can go out like that. You can kind of, there's a little bit of outward joint, but not much. And he does bend as well, so you can have him scratching at a door, for example. As for his legs, you can go all the way around like that with the main part of his legs. And he does have a knee joint, so if you bring this out, you kind of have to force it out, but you can bring that out. You can kind of have a pretty good knee, although I don't really think any T-Rex would be big enough to pose like that and stand, but yeah. Anyway, pretty nice figure overall. Do I think he's worth $55? Yes, I do. He is a big figure. He is my second tallest figure that I currently own. The only one that's taller right now is Jetfire. So, and I doubt that'll change for a little while, at least as long as I don't have any of the Titan class figures. Or, I'm not sure about Commander class figure though. Although, I might be getting Ultra Magnus relatively soon, although that's if the price increases aren't as bad as they could be. So far, I've seen that the price increases for Transformers have been a lot more than I'm willing to pay for a Transformer. So I'm probably just going to focus on old ones for now, or older ones for now, rather than trying to get newer ones. But yeah, pretty nice figure overall, and I think he is an 8 out of 10. So that is it for the video. Bye, guys. Wait, I was about to say bye, guys, when I realized, oh, I'm supposed to do the size comparisons. Let me actually transform him again. So I have put him back into his robot mode right after I forgot Good thing is that I have comparison figures right here. In fact, the RC I have that I'll be comparing, it actually reminded me of that, so that's good. So our first figure is Studio Series 86 Galvatron. I will be showing all like G1 figures because he is technically just G1 Grimlock but repainted. As you can tell, he is taller than even, I think he's a little bit shorter than Galvatron with these things in the back, but to be fair, those barely count anyway. Our next figure is G1 Ratchet, specifically the version that has a hole blown in his chest. He's pretty small, and this is a small Voyager, so that's about what I expected. And our last figure is Studio Series RC. Pretty nice figure overall, and it scales pretty nice. Unfortunately, she is a little bit on the annoying side when it comes to standing, but there we go. Yep, pretty nice. So that is officially it for this video. I will see you guys later. Bye.